See, federal law, as stated in Cohen's versus Virginia, that is considered treason against the United States Constitution. These are landmark cases. And also, the witness lied under oath by stating he didn't do this, and that. And I mean, under standard due process, the U.S. Supreme Court held that no matter what rules you create, you must use fundamental fairness. Well, I mean, you asked me to have anything else to say.
Anything else? Anything additional?
Well, I object. I mean, I understand you buying me over. And can I say one more thing? Again, like I challenged jurisdiction before testimony was even brought in.
And I deny it.
And, okay, but the law
Do you want the
mandated.
discovery order signed? Before I buy you over?
Yeah.
Okay, and what was it specifically that you
I
wanted?
mean, I would like all the officers, background history, Kim Worthy's. I would like the individuals here today because it shows a pattern of history of felonies being committed against citizens.
So what I'll do is I'll sign this discovery order here, and if you want to expand it, with the new judge that you get across the Third Circuit, you can ask for those additional things like Kim Worthy's background. I'm not giving you that. Short order. I don't even know what that.
Well, what I'm saying is so far she's the chief officer of the county.
Yes.
And everything.
And I am not going to do that.
And everything that her subordinates
I'm
do.
signing a normal
Well, what about the
court
bond?
scale certified discovery order for you to make sure that you have everything. Any video, it was mentioned that there was video possibly at the police station. This will get you that into the good, okay?
Okay, well, what about the bond? I mean, I didn't run, I'm not a runner. Why do you got this tether on me? I mean, I can't get out and work like I need to. I can't get out and move. I mean, I don't know what my brothers say. I'm not trying to do that. This is a complete
I give you a lot of
fabrication.
leeway.
Pardon?
I give you a lot of leeway.
I
I'm gonna
mean,
continue
I
by.
have a right to live. And my liberty is being restrained by these people who commit felonies.
And the other option is within the Wayne County Jail with assault and attempted murder charges. 629 at 9 o'clock, okay?
Well, guys, we have finally come to the end of the proceedings of Mr. Carnell McCreary before Judge Aaliyah Sabree. And as we can see, a whole lot went on in all these appearances. And this final appearance here, let me just say this really quickly. I don't know who Miss Kim Worthy is, the head of the prosecutor's office, but he did not hold back on anything that he had to say about her and some of the allegations that he made that he said that are fact and could be found on file, which I'm sure they could be. I'm sure he's not going to be making anything out of the thin air that he couldn't show because he wanted to show it. I mean, he was so adamant to the point where he wanted to call her up to be subpoenaed and put on the stand, but she has no relevancy to the case. So the judge was like, whether she did whatever she did or her office is accused of whatever at this time, first of all, it's not trial. I'm not going to allow that. And they probably won't allow her to be called to the stand. But the prosecutors, we can tell that they were a little offended by him constantly bringing up Miss Worthy. But as we can see in this particular proceeding here, he did get a chance to talk and interview the officer, ask some questions of the officer, which seemed to be kind of all over the place, which seemed to be more structured for a trial. And the judge kept reminding him of that. He kept trying to hang his hat on the fact that they arrested him without a warrant. And the judge ended up addressing that. But I do believe that he did have some very relevant questions and what I felt to be good questions for the officer, but he didn't know how to structure them, and they kind of just fell by the wayside. The judge just kind of shot him down just because of the way that he said it and the fact that some of those types of questions would be for the trial. And as we can see, there was probable cause found. Judge Sabree sent this particular case to the Third Circuit Court of Michigan, where it found itself before Judge Christopher M. Blunt. And eventually, it took a little while, the case did finally have a trial. And guess what? You guys won't believe it, but Mr. McCreary was found not guilty by a jury. Let me say that again. Yes, you heard me right. He was found not guilty. Now, I didn't dig into all the details of the case, but just the fact of hearing that he was found not guilty it kind of made me think back on some of the things he was saying. Yes, he talked a whole lot, and it was very exhausting to hear him talk. But when he did address his brother, the officer, he constantly kept talking about his brother perjuring himself on the stand in the past. His brother was the way he was handling his mom's offenses, the house. He signed his brother's names, and he can get his brothers to come in and testify of that. Brother driving around with no license. He's a sovereign citizen as well. You know, it seems like the stuff that he kept trying to present, which the judge kept telling him, listen, this can't be presented into trial. It seems like that might have been what happened. And maybe it was that, or maybe it was the handling of the situation by the officers, because he kept talking about how there was no gun, how there were no bullets, and that the whole story was fabricated. Don't know how he got off or what he proved, but what he was saying in these preliminary exams seemed to have had some type of truth and some type of way to it. So once again, Mr. Carnell McCreary was found not guilty by a jury. And that's the end of this case, guys. I just appreciate you guys for hanging in there with me. Definitely was interesting. Mr. Carnell definitely had a lot to say, man. You know, like you guys say in the comments, a lot of times, a lot of nothing. But it seems like some of those things that he had to say and that he wanted to say seems to have some truth, or seem to have some truth to them. But with that being said, this is Sovereign Citizens Hall of Fame.